Hi everyone, Katarina here. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I'm bringing you a very sweet, very easy but beautiful Valentine's card. I absolutely love this one. The sentiment Sending Love comes from the latest Simple Cards and Papercraft magazine, and there were three word die cuts with love and sending in it, and it's the sending and love I used to make the sentiment, and I layered it up on a couple of layers of white cardstock, and then I used the red glitter cardstock on top. Made a little envelope, and I had to ink up a little bit red in there because I kind of got lost behind that white background in there. So for the hearts I used my digital die cutting machine because I don't have layering dies this small. Okay, so the smallest heart that I have is this one, only because I've lost the smaller one, that there was one smaller than this. So I thought this would be just too big for what I had in mind, but by all means you can use your layering die sets. You know, they would be perfect for this. Actually, that was what I had in mind, but I couldn't find that small little heart, so I had to go and create a file on my die cutting machine, digital die cutting machine, and that's what I used. Now I will be showing you how I made these tiny little bows. And the little envelope, I will give you measurements to this one too. I used my envelope punch board to create it, but these measurements wouldn't be on it. These are much smaller than the smallest one on the measurements given. So for this one I used these paper pads, because there's a couple of these already, the Lipsticks Basics, and I shared it in my what did I get video lately, that I picked up a brand new one as well, because I just love these, using these. I think these patterns are so much fun, and not only for Valentine's Day, these are so good for so many occasions. Now for the card today, however, I've used and this is funny because I'm creating a Valentine's card, but I've used a Christmas paper pad. I really wanted to go with the pink and black theme, and I thought this was absolutely perfect. So I used papers from these to make the hearts and the envelope. I'm going to use this one to create the little envelope, and for the hearts I used, oh no, this one is from the other one. I think all these three I've used for the little hearts. Yeah, I think it is. For the background, because on the card that I showed you in here, I just used plain white background and a die cut here. This is just like a lattice die cut. Now, but for this one, however, I'm going to change this up a bit, and I'm going to use pattern paper. For the pattern, I used another Christmas pad, and it was these rose gold, right, pink rose almost dots. They're glittery dots, and they're absolutely stunning. So let me show you what we are doing here. So this is a 5x7 card base where I've rounded down the corners just on the opening end of the cardstock. I taken a piece of this gorgeous, and this is such a lovely rose glitter cardstock, and I'm getting these off an eBay seller, and I think this is definitely my favorite color lately. I've used this so much. I think it's just gorgeous. So I've cut this down to 5 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I just cut the middle out of it because we don't need to waste all that lovely paper, because this one here will be going on top of it, and this one measures 4.5 by 6.5. But I also wanted to add a little bit of an extra texture on it, so I sent it through my die cutting machine using this embossing folder in here. And I didn't want to send it through just straight, so I kind of tilted it a bit and sent it through, and that added a lovely texture on it. Now to create some of those hearts, I'm using this exact same glitter cardstock. Now let me just show you. It kind of gets lost with all those dots in there. So to combat that, I have cut out a piece of vellum which is about 3¼ inches in width, and I'm going to wrap this around the middle section of this here. And now when I'm going to add my glitter hearts, they will show up just so much more, yet I still don't lose any of that lovely pattern of the background. So I'm going to do this very quickly. Okay, so to make a little envelope like that, you'll need a piece of cardstock that measures 3 3/8 by 3 3/8, and we're gonna have to do the first punch line on our envelope punch board at 2 inches. I'm going to turn it to the opposite side and do exactly the same thing, 2 inches. And now I'm going to line up this core line that I just made with the little notch on the punch tool, just like that. And the same on this other side, just lining up the score line into the notch, or onto that little spike that is standing out of the tool bit, and this is what we should have. Now, it's not quite finished in here, because once I fold this up, I don't like this look, so I like to fold this back a bit. So I'm just trying to get it nice and straight, just like so. Let's see, might even come down a bit further. I think that looks pretty cool. I love that. I'm going to add a bit of glue just under here, just to fold this back. You can cut this off if you want, but I just like to fold it back. I think it gives it a nicer finish. Now, I don't know if I want to, let's see, if I want to leave this white, or do I want to make it black. Let's see if I'm using the hearts that I have here. No, I think I'm going to just leave it white. So now what I did with the envelope on the other card, I think this bit, this flap, is just looks a bit too big for this one. So what I did is I line this up on my board so it's nice and straight. Take a ruler and put a little mark I'm actually going to turn it the other way. So I'm lining it up and putting a little mark at 1/2 inch. Okay, and here, and then coming up on the flap, I'm going to put a mark just at 1/4 inch on each side. So what I have is 1/4 inch of a mark on either side in there, and 1/2 inch down to there. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut from here to that middle mark, and from this one down again to this in here. Okay, and I just like to line down in here a bit. I think it's just cuter. Now that's perfect. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of a glue in here and in here. Like so. This looks perfect. Now I'm only thinking that now I've cut out sanding glove again from that same lovely rose cardstock. Now I really don't want to go off the vellum like what said, so I'm just going to change it up a bit. In here I went in one line, and on this one I'm going to put it on top of each other. I think I love that a bit more. Yeah, I definitely prefer it this way. So this will be slightly different looking card. Now I'm going to show you how I made these lovely hearts, okay, with the teeny tiny little bow, and I don't have any dies or anything to create those bows, so I had to be creative, and this is what I'm going to show you, how you can make bows like that, super easy, using different products than bow dies. Okay, we'll cut out a heart just using any dies that you have, and from a different paper. In here I'm just showing you, you can use glitter obviously, or a different pattern, it really doesn't matter. Where I used two different patterns, I added the bow with the glitter paper, and where I used glitter on the heart itself, I used black cardstock to create those little bows. Okay, so just for easiness I'm going to try to zoom in on this bit so you can see what I'm doing, and I don't want to use black so you can't really see what's happening in there. I have a few bits of red ones in here. So I've to create the little bow, I didn't have any bow dies, as I said. What I do have though is there were two different things that I used. Seeds of this apple die, these seeds in here, or I also used, I have these dies that I never used before. I don't even know, I think it's of AliExpress, I don't know, but these bits were like paint drops. So anything really that is kind of a tear shape will work absolutely fine. I think these ones were of the little apple seed. So this is all. What I did was took a tiny strip of that paper or cardstock, and I added a bit of glue to the back of the heart frame die, or heart frame die cut even. Just wait till it dries there a bit, and then with the glitter cardstock it just takes a little bit more time to dry. Flip away the excess, and now I'm going to add my second one in here behind it, just like so. Okay, so just creating that little present look, and I add a little bit in here as well. Just trying to keep it straight. Now of course you can add this in the middle, you can add this on the side or on the other side, it really doesn't matter. I like to add my bows off the side like this on the presents that I'm making, so this was the idea for this as well. Okay, so far, night is just flew away on me. I will need this. I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to layer on top of each other, creating the bottom half of my bow, so the overhang of the ribbon that would be, just like so. And if I can find my smaller scissors, they are right here. I'm going to take this tiny knife. This is a bit fiddly, but it's not too bad. It's doable. Yeah, so I'm going to snip away just a teeny tiny bit on the end in here. And the same with the other one. I'll try to pick it up with my fingers, might be a bit faster. Okay, just snip it away in there. Add a dot of glue just over there. And now I will need my tweezers to layer this up in here, and the other one from the other side. Like so. Now I'm just going to give this a little time to dry, because this is this glitter cardstock too, it just takes a little bit longer to dry. So once this is dry, I'm going to cut these down just nice and short, just at a little bit of an angle. Going to add glue in here. Now you can of course use hot glue in here, it might just be faster drying, but just because it's such tiny little bit of a detail, I would be afraid of it oozing out. Now once you have that done, add a bit of a glue at the back of this here. Glue it on top of the heart. And I like to add a little bit of a rhinestone in the middle of the bow. Now I don't have any red or pink of these tiny little rhinestones. I only have black and silver ones. So what I did, I added that, and once that glue in the middle dries and everything is properly set, I take my alcohol marker and I just add color to the little rhinestone in the middle. That's how I got the red in here, and that's how I got the pink in the middle of that one. Okay, so it's just easy cheats to add color to match our projects really. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these here on first of all. So just going to go around of it all with my quick grab glue, and this is the acrylic glue from Cosmic Shimmer. I still have to find the dot for this, for the eye. I do have it somewhere in there because I remember layering it all up. Again, this one is the glitter cardstock and 2 layers of white cardstock die cuts underneath, so it's nice and layered. It adds a little bit of a dimension to it. So sending love. There we go. Now I'm going to add the envelope in here. I think I'm gonna go at an angle again, like so. Yep, I'll go with this. Okay, so I picked out all these little hearts. Now, just looking on this one, I had 4 big hearts as presents, but I think I'm only gonna go 3 because the envelope is that much higher. I think 4 would be just a bit too much. And for the smaller ones, I'm just gonna go with the glittery ones. I'm not going to bother, I think, with the pattern paper for the small hearts. I'm just going. Now also what I'd like to do, I'd like to add a little bit of a glue just under the envelope there, trying to come in, and this will keep the vellum kind of secured onto the cardstock as well. It doesn't really need to be because it's secured on the top and on the bottom it's folded underneath, but I still just like to add that little bit. I could also add a bit of glue under the hearts and all, but it really doesn't need it. So now just for as the last step, for the insert of the card, I cut a piece of cardstock that measures 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing as I done in here. Just on the side I'm going to layer up some of these leftover hearts in here. And that's it. This absolutely beautiful card is finished. So there's a different version of this card. Sanding Glove, I think it's just so fitting, and this is quite flat. It's easy to post in a 5 by 7 envelope, so if you would like to send someone a lovely message for Valentine's, I think these are just absolutely perfect. I also forgot to mention I used a glitter pen on the black bows in here and the little hearts, all the little hearts on that envelope. I don't know if the camera picks it up, it's quite late in here and it's not much natural light at all, so I'm not sure if the camera picks it up, but I'm not going to bother using it on here because I think there's so much glitter and all going on in the background, both on the matte and the layering paper, that I don't think it really needs anything more on the black as well. So these are the cards that I made and I absolutely love them, and I hope you do too. And if you did like the tutorial, please give me the thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. It really means so much to me and keeps me going to keep this channel going. So thank you for watching, and until the next time, bye!